I'm reading from a novel called Hunts Point. In this section, we have Carlos, who's the main character. He's with Julio, who's the flamboyant owner of a travel agency, and they're in the kitchen of Casey, who is the neighborhood's belligerent drunk, and Casey is telling Carlos a story. At the funeral, I walk Grandma Pearl back to her car and she says, "He was my baby, but maybe this was for the best." Then she looked me in the eye and said, "I'm old, not stupid, boy." So even Grandma Pearl knew what was going on with me and Percy. Percy's friend from New York came to the funeral. Everyone could see the friends were like that, as folks would say. Everyone was cordial to them, but no one invited them back to the house, so I did. While everyone was on the porch drinking lemonade and talking about Percy, I was packing my bags. I was going to New York City with Percy's friends. Now, Grandma Pearl, she had her room on the first floor on account that she couldn't climb the stairs, but she came all the way up to the attic with her walking stick. "Where do you think you going, boy?" She scared me to death. "I'm heading to New York with Uncle Percy's friends." "No, you ain't. If I gotta use this walking stick on you to keep you from heading out, I will." And then she raised her stick. "Let me go, Grandma." I stood before her holding on to one of Percy's suitcases filled with my own clothes, tears pouring down my face. "Please, Grandma." But she stood firm. I put down the suitcase and sat on Percy's bed. After graduation, I applied to colleges in New York but couldn't afford them, so I went to the local community college and got a part-time job on a local farm and saved money. There was a gay bar in Charleston, but I didn't want to get found out, so I drove over 2 hours to a bar in Richmond. I was usually ignored by the usually white crowd. Once or twice I went home with someone, but it was quick, and had none of the love or passion I had with Percy. It took me several years to save up enough to get a new start, and when I read about the riots in New York, I thought it was a sign. And I called Uncle Percy's friend Sidney, who offered me a place to stay until I got myself together, but I ain't never been together. How could I be when I ain't had no love, not since Percy? But he's here. Then Casey looks around the room. His spirit comes to me. He came to me the first night he died. I was crying and I felt him touch me. It was so real, I jumped up, but there was no one there. So on some nights, I look up to the sky and talk, and he talks back. Casey looks over to me. "You think I'm crazy?" I do, but I say no. Julio gets up and washes his cup in my glass. Casey's drinking rum without the pretense of coffee in his mug. "We should get going, Carlos." Julio's keys jingle as he picks them up. Casey shakes his head. I could see his eyes are still misty. "I think I'm going up there." And Casey points to the ceiling, and for a moment, I think he means heaven, as in kill himself. "You be careful up there," Julio says as he leads me toward the door. "Up where?" I ask. Casey says, "Up on the roof. Percy was talking to me earlier." And I recall him looking up at the sky and talking to him when Julio and I were following him. I hold out my hand for Casey to shake. "Thanks for sharing your story." Casey looks at my hand and snorts. "Julio, this one is something, ain't he?" He doesn't shake my hand and I feel foolish. I don't get Casey. He's a bundle of contradictions. I take one last look at his tidy apartment and follow them out the door. We walk down the stairs and Casey walks up. When we reach the sidewalk, I ask Julio, "Is he gonna be okay?" "He's fine. He goes up there all the time to be with Percy." I look up on the rooftop, but I can't see Casey. I imagine him walking up there, staring into the feeble sky, talking to the spirit of the man he once loved and who he believes loves him still. I walk Julio to his car that's parked in front of his agency. I have never seen him with a partner, and I want to ask him about that, but I've had enough stories. And if I hear that he too has lived without love, I don't think I can take it. "Carlos?" "Yes?" Julio smiles and touches my face tenderly. I watch him make a U-turn on Hunts Point Avenue and drive away. I look up at the dark, cloudless sky, then back to Casey's building. I wish that at this very moment, he is on his rooftop, feeling Percy's embrace. Then I hug myself and continue walking down Hunts Point Avenue.